Hi guys, Crypto Mark back on the KRC20 wallet tracking journey. We'll get straight at it. So updated the chart again for the weekly price reflection, and more or less the same as it was last week. 60 odd cents difference. Some up a little, some down a little. Basically not a lot to report in fairness. What I have done, so we'll come off that for now, but what I have done is I changed all of the tokens from the Ghost wallet. So all of these tokens down the side here I bought on the Ghost wallet, and I basically sent them to a new KasWare wallet. Just the Ghost wallet was kind of annoying us a little bit. The prices weren't reflecting properly. Some of them that didn't have a balance at all, and then when you went in as if you were going to change it back to Kas, it would bring up the balance. Now I think I've fathomed out when I've went onto the KasWare wallet, because it's kind of done the same. There's a zero balance on some of them, but then when you go to do the exchange, it'll tell you what the amount is if it's under $5. So I think $5 is maybe the cut-off point for showing the balance, because you don't appear to be able to transact unless the value is worth more than $5. So if I wanted to withdraw some of these, sell some of these ones back to Kaspa that are like $3, whatever, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to buy some more to then sell them all, sort of thing. So you know, that's just fine. That is what it is. But there's one particular token, Kasmo, on both the wallets, on the Ghost wallet and now on KasWare, it was showing the value of like $30 odd, and then I thought, well, that doesn't look right compared to where it was. And then when I went to exchange back to Kas, it then updates to like $5, whatever it is, $5.10. And I've just looked again before there. Now it's showing like $12. So there's some weirdness going on in the background of whatever shows the prices properly. But anyhow, I decided I'd move away from the Ghost wallet, primarily also because if we look on here, this is Kas FYI, which you know I like using. There's a message saying that they've ended the partnership with Change and not.meme. And if you remember, the Ghost wallet, when you do any interaction, it's backed by Change. So it kind of wasn't going to be supported if I wanted to do anything with those anyway, if I wanted to buy any new ones or whatever. So I've just moved them all to KasWare. By chance, I've looked, there's one Wolfie which is doing okay. It's worth about $20 or something. That doesn't appear to be backed by, isn't available on KasWare. So if I wanted to sell that, I'd have to transfer it somewhere else. But I don't want to, so it's fine. It's not a big issue. It's just one of them. I think it's just a highlight of the fact that it's super early in the KRC20s, and there's still a lot of things going on, and a lot of things maybe being changed behind the scenes that weren't quite working or being improved or whatever it is. So yeah, on a positive note, a bit more volume coming back to some of these. As you can see, these balances are up a little bit in terms of market cap and volume. Nacho is up to 18 million. It was down as much as 7 not too long ago. I did buy some $60 odd worth. It's worth about 140 now, I think. Again, not selling it. It very much looks like it's the front runner. And again, I'll show you in a little bit more detail on here why I believe that to be the case. So actually, first and foremost, let's have a look back. Oh, that's gone again, hasn't it? I'm having issues with this. It keeps dropping the feed on the studio that I'm using. Why on earth is it doing that? It's not showing. I'll try and get it on again on a different one. It's like it's not picking up. Right, I'm just going to put Kas FYI on a different browser and see if that sorts it. Kas FYI. Sorry about this. I've made this video 3 times now, to be honest. It's taking the mick a bit. I don't really have a bother with it normally. Right, so window to capture. Brave, right, yes, hopefully you can see that. Apologies, that's not ideal. Luckily I don't think I'd said much about it, so we'll have a little look. Right, yeah, so Kaspa's sitting in and around that just under 8 cent mark. It has been there for a little while now. The KRC20's Nacho is up to, like I say, about 18. It was down as far as 6/7 a couple of videos ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Again, what I was saying is I think these are so new that that they're still finding their feet and they're still getting started really. But in terms of if you wanted to get involved with any, again, not financial advice, do your own research, please. I certainly would suggest like starting your research in the top 10, 15, something like that, and just having a look at them. Nacho is the number one. It did recently, and I hadn't touched on it to be honest, but what they've done recently, I think they came away from some of the exchanges, or they were going to come away from some of the exchanges, some of the smaller ones that they had, with a view to go on to larger exchanges. And as you can see there, it hasn't really settled itself in yet, but it has been launched on Gate.io now. This is not sure. Let's have a look, see if I can get my X page on here. X home. Yeah, I'm just going to check that's still working. Yep, good. Maybe it's Google Chrome's working itself. Brave seems to be working, so Nacho. Yeah, we'll go. Yes, they've launched on Gate.io, which are obviously a pretty big exchange, so it's definitely a good step forward in terms of then opening up the exposure to more people and then potentially opening up the exposure to more exchanges. Again, I can't see the day that Nacho will go on Binance or Coinbase without Kaspa having gone there first. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I think they'll both get there. And also more of the KRC20s. And you know what it's like when a new platform or a new crypto type, so like Kaspa, for example, goes on to any exchange, then it's little, it's smaller. Underneath KRC20s, it'll just start appearing. And then it's like it'll be the survival of the fittest. The best KRC20s will prosper. Some of the other ones won't, as we've seen in the little demonstration that I'm running with this weekly update, where some have failed, some are stagnant, some are thriving and doing well. Potentially, like I spoke about last week, some are just sitting in the back burner waiting for things to improve before they start pushing again and making some moves. So that's fair comment. I'm happy enough just to sit and watch this space sort of thing. But yeah, I would definitely say if you're not involved and you want to get involved, then a bit of exposure to a few of the ones in the top 10, 15, 20 is probably not a bad place to start. But again, not financial advice. So yeah, just touching on, I seen a slightly, well, it is Kaspa related because it's the first thing I thought of when I seen this particular thing happen. I thought Kaspa straight away, and for reasons that will become apparent when I talk about it. So I seen a viral post on Facebook in the UK. It didn't look like it was set up, and I know that some of these things do look like they're set up and just for the sake of the video, but basically it was a guy in one of the UK's leading banks arguing with the teller because he wanted to take £2,500 of his £15,000 or something like that out of his account in cash, and they basically wouldn't give him it. In a nutshell, he was arguing the toss to try and get his own money out, and they wouldn't give him it. And they were saying things like, "What's it for?" And he said, "It's for a motorbike for my son." And they were like, "Have you got proof of that?" And he's like, "Well, I haven't decided which one I'm buying it." And they were even cheeky enough to say, "Well, how do you know it's £2,500 that you'll need?" And I thought, you know what it is? Like, this is screaming out Kaspa, and this is screaming out crypto. This is screaming out having your own ability to have control of your own money. Comes to something when you're arguing with the bank to get your own money out. So yeah, he obviously wasn't happy about it, and I've seen this sort of thing before, and I know for a fact if I went into my local branch and said, "Can I have like £2,000 cash out?" chances are they haven't got that much money to give you. You've got to like order it in and go back and get it. I'm like, what kind of place is this where you've got to like basically fight and demand your own money? So this leads on perfectly to having Kaspa, any crypto, you own basically your own control of your own finances, aren't you? And when crypto becomes more adopted and Kaspa becomes more adopted because it's the cheapest, the fastest, the safest, then yeah, it's going to eradicate all that sort of issue, really. And yeah, again, another point to note on Kaspa, I transferred all those tokens before from the Ghost wallet to the KasWare wallet. I don't know, like a dozen or 15 tokens or something like that, and it didn't even come to a cent, a penny for all of them. The transaction fees were like 0.000109995. I've got it written down, which is just like nothing. So you can move whether that's $3 worth of a KRC20 or whether that's 30 million. The fees are just like non-existent. So it's all primed. It just needs that adoption. Again, it's always that, isn't it? And I feel like a broken record myself, and I know people are getting frustrated sometimes when they hear like it's just the talk of you need to wait for it to develop and all that sort of thing. It takes time, and it does, and there's no like long or short answer to that other than it does take time. So what you're going to do, you can either be in the space, get yourself a bag, put it on cold storage, forget about it, park it, end of story, come back in 2 year, 5 year, 6 months, whatever you want. Or don't be in it because it's too frustrating and it's not moving fast enough for you, and then be a Bitcoin person kicking yourself down the line. Oh, if only I'd bought this. And you know, I've seen them posts about people selling that Bitcoin for like 50 cents and stuff, saying they wish they kept it because it's like $8 now. And then those tweets get re-cropped up and put back on Twitter and stuff now, and it's like, oh, great, your $8, what would it be now? But you know, those people were never going to keep it that long with it if that's the mindset back then. So yeah, as we've spoke about before, for me, I'm buy and hold. I want to be the person that was smart enough to buy and hold, and yeah, you can sell along the way and stuff, like for some profits and whatnot, but certainly to keep like an amount for when it really does take off. So yeah, that's that. Sorry, there's not a massive amount of report on the KRC20 wallet tracking at the minute. Kind of is how we've called it for the past 8 weeks, if not more, that it's just sort of stagnant. But the time will come again, and when it kicks off, yeah, you know, hopefully you know where to look. Kas FYI, you know where to look at some other places. I'll have a look at the other one actually. Kaspa.com, got the bookmark here, good. We'll have a look at some NFTs. Just seeing if I'll just look every week to see if anything's standing out that looks new. I think I've seen all these ones in fairness. I don't know if that might be new. Mint collection, 200 cast to mint them. No, a month ago, so no, they're not particularly new. Yeah, but they've gone up in price again now. Nacho, they did come down quite significantly. Obviously correlated to when Nacho come down. You could get them quite cheap in the secondary market. I think 900. They were down to like 500, I think, in the secondary market. And if you bear in mind, that's when Kaspa was probably a little bit lower than what it is as well in price. You would have been probably pretty well well suited if you had got a couple of them then. Some of these don't recognise. But yeah, again, if you're interested and you want a new avatar or something for your Facebook, X, whatever, and you like to look at any of these, you could just come and get one if you wanted to. Again, not financial advice. It could all just be a flash in the pan, but equally they might be really good. But I would say, as I was saying last week, there's definitely a use case for them, particularly as the transactions and the speed and everything is like dead cheap, dead fast. You could really use these for proper use cases where, you know, you can't really do that with an Ethereum NFT because the cost of like sending it to somebody as their proof of ownership of a car, for example, it's quite significant, the cost and the gas fees and stuff like that. But with these, they're double cheap, so it could be where you end up having your car registration document, for example, going forward, could all be digital and online, because we know everything's going digital in time, kind of the way that it's happening. And there's even places where they don't even take cash at all now, so it's just card, it's just digital. So that's kind of the way the world's going. I think everyone knows, but yeah, it's just one of them, isn't it? But that other thing about the bank as well, like, you know, in another reason why I think crypto will be really very valuable to people. I've seen a little bits and pieces in it. This is a bit conspiracy, and I don't like going down this neck of the woods, but if you remember when we were in lockdown, like in the UK, we could only go within 3 mile radius of our house. So it gets you thinking, if they do bring this centralised bank out where you get all your salary and your wages into an online digital account, you pay all your bills from the digital account, a bit like the way you do your banking, but basically everything within there. There could be like fine systems if you go outside and try and spend outside of the radius, if there was ever a thing like that happened again, you know, and you're not meant to be there. So you're straight like a street outside of your 3 mile radius, your bank card might not work, for example. You know, it gets you thinking, and I don't know how far these things can go, but it does get you thinking. So again, it just highlights the fact that if you're your own keeper of your own finances, or certainly some of them, and you've got another way of doing things financially, then that is kind of your freedom in a sense. So yeah, I'm going to stop rabbiting on there and leave it there, guys. I shall put the next video on next week, when hopefully the uptrend in Kaspa, the talk about Kaspa, the positivity that is there, it's bubbling in the background. There's people trying to suppress it. There's FUD coming every now and again. We've spoke about this, but just, you know, sometimes just try and block out the white noise and let the process be the process. Let the doers do what they're doing. The developers, the builders, the small contract developers. Yeah, we're mega early, and again, it frightens you sometimes when you see how early we are with some of the new technologies coming out and things, and it does remind you of how early we are. Even if you've been in crypto 4 or 5 years, it's developing that fast and things are changing. That you're much earlier than most people, who are just, if you mention crypto, they'll just look at you with a bit of a set of glazed eyes. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna leave it there, stop waffling on. Cheers guys, see you on the next one. Thanks, bye bye.